Hi, my name's Tusk. This is a current work in progress build, very early on, but it seems to be clearing T16s and I'm pushing into 16.5s pretty all right. So I figured I might as well give an update, see how it's progressing, and show it off to people. See that you can use the slam build. Now, I will preface this by stating one thing for certain: the Shaper Slam is buggy. There are plenty of bugs associated with the Shaper. One of which you don't get XP from any of the kills that the Shaper gets. So if you slam a big crowd, you're not getting any of that XP, which sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Shaper can get stuck in things, um, and sometimes it doesn't seem to hit. I'm not sure what's going on right there. It might be like block chance or something, but that's besides the point. The build is currently handling T16s pretty all right. We're leveraging basically everything on the staff for this build. We're leveraging the levels of spell skill gems, we're leveraging the cast speed, and we're leveraging the physical damage. So, what skill benefits from all of those? Frozen Legion, either version, Frozen Legion or Frozen Legion of Rallying. Um, Frozen Legion benefits from the cast time. It benefits from the spell skill gems, so we get up to +5 levels, so that can get us damage effectiveness. And we get all the fizz damage from the staff. Granted, the staff's fizz damage isn't the best, but Frozen Legion kind of works around the whole traditional scaling of a physical attack build. And we're leveraging the Shaper by using Divine Blessing in March of the Legion. So we got our Hatred linked up to that to push it to almost 29, 30 levels. And we also have a Shockwave in our Leap Slam, but that's besides the point. We are using this Hatred to spend a bunch of mana because we need to spend about 2,000 energy shield in order to use the Shaper Slam. But Divine Blessing lets us spend a bunch in a cast, and because we're an Inquisitor and we have Pious Path over here, all our life regen from Consecrated Ground is being applied to our ES, so it refills pretty quickly. Now, we're also using Mind Over Matter over here, so 40% of damage will be taken from the ES pool along with life. So all that ES isn't going to waste. We're still using it. Granted, it does come to be a problem if a big hit takes away all of that, because then you can't cast spells. But that's only happened like twice so far, so it's not going to be a common occurrence. You just want to build defensively. The passive tree, because this is where we're getting most of our damage. We come up here, grab Mind Over Matter. We have this juicy Lethal Pride that gives us double damage. There's extra fizz over here. Uh, Double damage, extra fizz. We're trying to get as much fizz, crit, and as extra as possible. We come up here. We get the staff nodes. This node, 3% increased life per socket in the staff is actually really good. If I wanted to, I could probably take off this blue one and put in a red one, get some more life, but a little unnecessary at this point. We coming through here. We have two rune graphs actually. One rune graph at a time, 20% chance to not use a cooldown. So whenever I hit this, you see that one was 2, that one was 1. That actually ends up helping with our clear speed a lot. We're also using Runegraft of the Jeweler, 10% increased damage for each unlinked socket. I almost have fully unlinked sockets in the staff because we're just using it for the Shaper Slam, and all these jewels are just supporting the Shaper Slam. But I gotta figure out the exact method to unlink that last one because I'm pretty sure you have to do that in a very specific manner. Anything else of note? We just come down here. I'm just gonna be getting here to finish off the crit chance because right now we're not fully crit capped. We are on the Frozen Legion, but not Shaper Slam, and that's gonna really help with the damage once we get to that. Some max res, life. Over here, grab this. 8% increased damage for each aura or herald affecting you. We have a lot of auras, so that's a lot of damage. We're getting our spell and attack block capped. So you got this and this with Bastion of Elements grabbed through a Flesh and Flame we have over here. And so what that means is that since we're casting all the time, we're always going to be spell block capped. And all we need to do is leap slam every couple minutes and every 4 seconds, basically, and then you'll be block capped. Over here, we have a pretty nice cluster jewel. You got Ironbreaker, Battle Hardened, and Force Multiplier. We'll be grabbing Force Multiplier. Up here, we got some Pressure Point just to push a little more crit damage. Get some attributes in LE res. Of course, because we're Inquisitor, we're going down here and we're getting critical strikes, ignore elemental resistances. As far as I know, this applies to the Shaper. It should apply to the Shaper because it doesn't specify you. But I don't know. I don't know. Shaper's a whole thing, but I'm having fun with this build currently, so I don't really care. Then over here, this is some of the extension items. We have a Watcher's Eye. Only reason why we're using this is because this has critical strike chance while affected by hatred. So this is helping us reach our crit cap. Eventually, I would probably want to grab something Wrath and maybe the Vitality one that gives percentage life regen while. But yeah, as you'll be seeing in some of the footage, it's doing pretty alright in maps. Clear speed's alright, and tankiness is pretty decent for what it is. The only thing that really needs to be improved is damage. I need to put in as much flat damage as possible. Currently, I'm using Kineticist with Heel's Toe and, you know, just the basic stuff. But eventually, I do want to find a good Pride and Rallying Cry Mercenary to hopefully add additional flat damage to my weapon, so that that can like be a bunch of extra damage and we can push the cap. In terms of what I recommend this build as it is, if you like experimental builds and you really want to make use of the slam, I think this is the best way to do it. Currently, the slam has basically only crit scaling going for it to really push the damage. And so that really leaves your options with Inquisitor and converting it all to Elemental. I forgot to mention I have Fizz Cold conversion and Fizz Fire conversion on the gloves, along with Fizz the Lightning in the staff to convert it. Or you could probably go something with like Impaler and just go crit Fizz Impale. Because Impale is not technically a damaging ailment, so it's not affected by the 70% reduction. And that 70% reduction is pretty bad. I tried running a bleed build with this, and it didn't really work out. In terms of gear, this gear's pretty decent. I think I've spent a little less than 20 divines on everything here. This is my this is my end of league build. I'm going to be putting everything I have into this to push the damage. Because this is very fun. Yeah, I have a chance to block attacks crafted on here, along with, you know, life, intelligence, life strength, res. Nothing really specific needed on anything except like the gloves specifically need a lot of the conversion, and I do need to get the most expensive Eater of Worlds attachment on this so that it could convert all of it, because there's, I believe, only 5% missing of the fizz left. Little bonuses that are included in this. The feeling of seeing Shaper destroy an entire pack. Since we're using Frozen Legion, and you know, maybe if you don't slam into a pack every time, you are actually immune to reflect, because the statues are not you, so any damage they do is not counted as reflect. Neither is Shaper. And yeah, no. We are using basically everything on this staff. I am genuinely impressed by how much I was able to use out of this. And this staff isn't even the best. Obviously, I could get a better cast speed and level skill gem, and both will help with clear speed because cast speed is super useful for the Frozen Legion. I'm also very much surprised how much I'm actually liking Frozen Legion of Rallying. This used to be like a historically terrible spell attack thingy. And for some reason, I'm clearing really well with it. Something about the crit and the extra fizz and the double damage chance really helps it out and makes it feel nice. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be doing another update on this build when it's pushing higher tier bosses. As it currently stands right now, I wouldn't recommend it for any Atlas bosses. It takes a minute, and Shaper's a little inconsistent, but once I figure out how to get crit capped and really like make this thing like tanky because sometimes stuff gets through the block and that really hurts. But yeah, no, I hope this was useful information. Bye.